The latest in WNBA free agency. It is Saturday the 28th, but there's still a lot of speculation. It appears that Courtney Vandersloot and Breanna Stewart are very keen to play with each other, and they might be a 2-for-1 special. Ramona Shelburne reported that Stewart will meet with 4 teams, which includes the Seattle Storm, New York Liberty, Minnesota Lynx, and Washington Mystics. After free agency in 2022, Stewart spoke about how she did not mind getting wined and dined by the Liberty, and it looks like she'll be doing this again. However, instead of having dinner in LA with Joe Tsai and his wife, Stewart will be meeting with teams in Turkey where she's currently playing. Stewart's previous interest in New York seems to explain the recent reports that Vandersloot and the Liberty have, quote, mutual interest. Vandersloot also has interest in Washington, so this might be a case of Vandersloot looking at Stewart's teams and Stewart looking at Vandersloot's teams, i.e., you look at mine and I'll look at yours. This potential partnership gives Storm fans hope, as both Stewart and Vandersloot have ties in Seattle. Vandersloot grew up in Kent, Washington, so the option of going home is realistic. In Stewart's case, the Storm is the only franchise she's played for in the WNBA, and the thought of being a lifer in a one spot like Sue Bird has to be intriguing to her. In addition, Stewart likes playing with Jewel Lloyd, so adding Vandersloot and maybe her wife, Allie Quigley, to fill the large void left by Sue Bird probably has to be intriguing, and obviously this is what Storm fans are hoping for. The other noises being made from the Stewart camp is her desire to fly charter. Oh, the millennial athlete and the inhumanity of flying commercial. Reports are floating that Brittany Griner will not be able to fly commercial due to security concerns, and this might push the WNBA into having to supply charter flights. Yes, like planes and airports are less secure than WNBA stadiums and hotels that players will travel to. I think it's a pretty weak argument, but hell, if you can make it and get charter flights, then more power to you WNBA players. Previously, WNBA teams were prevented in doing charters, even if the owners like Joe Tsai wanted to. In fact, as you're probably aware, his team, the Liberty, were fined $500,000 by the WNBA for chartering a flight, which was deemed to provide the Liberty with an unfair competitive advantage. The flying by charter seems to be a massive issue for Stewart, as she spoke of being willing to contribute to a sponsorship type arrangement so all teams were able to charter. However, the WNBA does not seem keen to budge on this issue, as they floated reports that charter flights would cost the league $30 million a year to fund. Now, how does this tie into free agency? Well, is Stewart going to be leaning to the Liberty knowing that ownership, specifically Joe Tsai, will not hesitate to implement charter flights if this is approved by the WNBA? That's the question. The early free agent speculation did not seem great for Chicago, but are they making a late move? Candace Parker, as reported by Ann Constable of the Chicago Sun-Times, reported that CP is likely narrowing her options between the Sky and LA Sparks. Now, what a choice for CP. Who does she trust more to build a winner? Kurt Miller, who hangs conference banners, or James Wade, whom she's won championships with? But the Sparks option would allow CP to be closer to her family and would be a fitting bookend to her career, as it would allow her to finish her career where it started. I must confess that I'm privately hoping that she chooses the Sparks, as the content that this will generate with her playing for Miller would be unbelievable. But this story or speculation got more interesting as the week progressed, as it appears that the Aces might be making a push for CP as well. The Aces traded Hamby to the Sparks, which has created more cap space for them, and now presumably they have space to sign CP. Some reports speculate that Parker is eager to play with Chelsea Gray, as they both escaped the Derek Fisher reign to go places where they could win championships. It turns out Fisher's strategy of benching Parker and Gray in the fourth quarter of an elimination game wasn't so great. Sorry, I digress. Any chance to whack Fisher, I'm going to take. I'm sure there's a part of Parker that wouldn't mind signing with the Aces and reminding the Sparks how they chose Derek Fisher over her and Gray and just repeatedly stick it to the Sparks. And a bonus on that, she gets to stick it to Kurt Miller and remind him that, yeah, she can beat him. The problem with CP going to the Aces might be the PR problem, as Hamby has come out against the Aces regarding how they handled her pregnancy, saying she was bullied and made to feel bad for getting pregnant. If you're living under a WNBA rock and are not aware of this, then check out my other video, but beware, it's not the typical pro WNBA player, and everything they do is wonderful. What is clear is the Aces have traded Hamby, as they see themselves as having a window to win championships, and this provides the cap space. But does it look bad if CP swoops in and takes up the cap space that was created by the trade of Hamby? I'm wondering if CP wants to potentially look like the bad person not supporting a pregnant WNBA player. So the Aces might have actually hurt themselves by trading Hamby and trying to get into the CP stakes. Now, Chicago is not sitting around. Their big effort appears to be diversifying their ownership group. They've made an announcement that they are bringing in businesswoman Nadia Rawlinson to their ownership group on Friday. And Constable, again, of Chicago Sun-Times says the timing shouldn't be viewed as a coincidence. Rawlinson is an experienced Silicon Valley executive and member of Stanford's Board of Trustees. She will serve as the Sky's operating chairman, according to the team's website. I am not really sure what impact this will have. If you were CP, which ownership group would you be more impressed with? The Sky, who practice at a public recreation center just outside of Chicago, or would you be more impressed with the Aces, who are building a dedicated basketball training facility which should be open in 23? In addition, they've always been willing to spend money, which includes hiring $1 million coach. My God, the WNBA league office, I can only imagine. They must be drooling at the prospect of the Aces and Liberty being loaded. Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, AJ Wilson, and Candace Parker. That five versus the Liberty with Breanna, Courtney Vandersloot, Jonquel Jones, Dullison, and Stewart. Yes, it would stink for the other teams, but give me super teams, as I think that's what the majority of fans would want. As well, I think it would bring in more casual fans to watch the WNBA. Give me your poison below. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.